Hi, my name is David Sebastian, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about gun safety. Today I have my audience with me. Thank you guys for coming. So basically, did y'all know that every year around 200,000 people injure themselves due to just misuse of a gun? And actually 600 people end up dying every year. Now, gun ownership can be very rewarding and exciting, but it's also a very big responsibility as well and should be taken very seriously. There are some basic precautions and rules to be taken care of. Now, today I'm going to be telling you guys about gun safety and why it is so important, and hopefully how we can get the injury number down. I myself am a gun owner, and I've myself seen very commonly seen a lot of misuses of guns, gun safety, and it's really a big deal, and it should be stated. Now, first I'm going to discuss the basic rules of a firearm, then I'm going to talk about the safety features of the firearm, and then the secondary dangers that firearms can cause as well that most people don't even think about. Alright, so first I'm going to start off with the rules of the firearms. And basically, basic rules sound like a lot of common sense, but as you'll notice, a lot of people don't take those into action. Basically, the first rule is always to keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. If it's always in a safe direction, it's never going to hit somebody. You never have to worry about a casualty or an accident. That's the most basic rule. If you're firing it, or even if you're just carrying it, always point it to the ground. Never point at a person if you're just joking. Be smart about it. The second is always keep your finger off the trigger. That's the second way. The gun's never going to fire on its own. So always, when you're holding the gun, always, if you have to hold it, hold your finger either on the side or you can rest it right here. Just never put on the trigger unless you intend to shoot. And then third is always keep the gun unloaded until it's ready to use. Why have the bullet in there if you don't plan on using it? That's just going to cause an accident. A kid might get to it that doesn't know how to use it properly. So why even risk it, right? So now that we kind of discussed the basic rules, there are some actually features that the gun has itself, of course, to ensure its safety. Of course, if it's legal then. So the first part of the gun is going to be the safety. Now, it's no coincidence that it's called a safety because it is the most safest feature of the gun. If this safety is on, no matter what I do, I try to pull the trigger, anything like that, the bullet will not exit the barrel. So that is the most basic foundation of a gun, is the safety. It's not going to fire, anything like that, so should be always taken consideration of. If you're not aiming, if you don't have your target on, always take the safety on. Good rule is, they always have a marker, red. Red is dead, that's how I remember it. So if you can't see the red, that means the safety is on. So that's just one way I remember it. Hopefully you guys can maybe use that. So yeah, and basically besides the trigger, or besides the safety, you also have the second part, and that's the barrel that you can always keep in check of. Always check the barrel to make sure there's no ammunition. A lot of people assume that even though they take the clip out, like, oh, okay, I take the ammo out, no big deal. But they forget to check the barrel itself. They forget to see, because there can always be a barrel or a bullet in there as well. So just because you take the magazine out doesn't mean it's always going to be safe to just carry around or just leave on a table or anything like that. So you got to always check the barrel, make sure it's good, and you can close it back. And then besides that, then the third feature, of course, is just proper handling. Always make sure you know how to handle a gun properly. Keep out of reach of children, of course, because they have no clue what they're doing. You definitely don't want a kid with a 9mm walking around, so just use your head, keep it out of kids' reach, and just out of immature adults as well, because sometimes adults can act as kids. And then lastly, now that we talked about the features of the gun, there are some secondary dangers that most people don't think about. So some of those dangers would be noise. You have heat and debris, and then you just have misfires. So the first one is noise, of course, as most people do know. It's very loud, and if you don't have the proper ear protection, you can eventually start losing your hearing. I can tell right away if I don't have an earplug because your ears can start ringing. It's a very serious thing because after a while you can notice some people who don't wear ear protection, they have a hard hearing, so gotta be careful of that. The second thing is, of course, heat, because as it's firing, there is fire. It is like a mini explosion pretty much, so there is heat. The barrel can get very hot, so of course you don't want to touch anyone's skin or just let it loose or just set it, by itself. Second, also that debris can happen too. Sometimes when I'm firing, sometimes if you have cheap ammunition, it can just explode in the barrel on you too. So you got to be very cautious of that and very aware of, you know, accidents can happen. And third is just misfires. Not everyone's a perfect aimer. Even if you do aim at a target, let's say even if it's paper, it's going to go right through that paper. You got to make sure you understand your target, around the target, and behind the target as well. Because yeah, I can hit the target, it can go right through and then hit somebody or bounce off. Ricochets happen all the time. Some people like that really loud, really like that noise. But when you usually hear that ding, that means it's misfiring and it's going off. So you got to be very cautious of that, guys. So basically, I told you guys the basic rules, the features of the gun, and then the basic rules of the gun, the features, and then just safety precautions. So hopefully you guys can take those in effect and we can get that 200,000 injuries each year down. Thank you guys for listening.